Do you ever wonder how your angels and spirit guides and divine helpers communicate with you? I've had lots of people write to me over the years and say, okay, I am willing to accept that I have angels, I have guides, I have helpers. I want to believe that. It makes me feel better knowing I have backup, but how do I know they're communicating with me? I don't know if I speak angel. So today I'm going to talk to you about how your angels use your intuition, your inner guidance, how they get your attention, how your guides speak to you so you don't miss the messages, you don't miss the support. Hi, I'm Sonia Choquette. Welcome to my channel. I'm traveling, so hence the less than interesting backdrop, but it's important to just keep the messages going. And we just entered a brand new age. I mean, you got to be pretty checked out to have not heard. We've just had an eclipse. We're in the age of the fire horse. Everything is changing. All the planets are lining up in a way they've never done in the last 6,000 years. All of that can sound pretty ominous if you don't really know what that means. And frankly, a lot of people are actually communicating this in an ominous way. So you want to be discerning and you want to not be manipulated by fear-mongering and a bit of confusion. And that's what we're here to talk about today. That this is the best period of your life if you're someone who chooses to stop fighting your inner guidance, stop questioning your intuition, stop doubting what you feel directly, and begin to communicate with the subtle realms. That's what my teachers call it, the spirit realms, with as much ease as you and I are communicating. I mean, I'm in a whole other place in time than you right now, but we're communicating. And it's because of energy. It's because we are on the same frequency and vibration. That's what brought us together. And the same thing occurs when you connect with your guides. So if you're new to guides and you haven't learned anything about it or you want to know more about it, can you believe they actually brought you to this point in time where we have this conversation so I can maybe answer some questions? And that's the first indication that you have your angels and guides talking to you. Here's how intuition works. Intuition works best when it's following your genuine heart-centered interests. Intuition has sort of a hierarchy of how it works with you. And then your guides are using that inner guidance channel to connect with you, to get your attention, to direct you, to assist you, to point out your opportunities. So the first level of guided support and the way that your angels and guides will help you is to protect you. That's basic. Let's just keep you safe as you travel through your physical universe. Let's just keep you safe as you fulfill your soul goals. So the reason a lot of people actually have a bit of a mixed feeling even, or a bit of ambivalence around intuition, is that very often some of their most powerful intuitive experiences are around warnings. Like, don't go there, don't do that. Call your mom just when you find out she's having maybe a major heart attack or needs you or have some emergency. So we unfortunately can tend to associate the messenger, which are your angels and guides, with the message, which is pay attention, warning, warning, and giving you an alert to redirect. So you have to think this through a little bit. It's like, don't shoot the messenger. You want to recognize that the greatest level of intuition, if you're going to ignore all the lesser messages that make your life wonderful, the strongest are going to be the ones that protect you, because your angels and guides want to help you fulfill your soul goals in this lifetime by keeping you safe. So think about it right now. When you think about intuition, do you get a positive feeling, or do you get a confused feeling, or do you get a negative feeling? So a lot of people say, wow, that scares me, because the intuitive messages that your angels and guides got through to you via your feelings, your sense, your, oh my God, I have this warning sense, or this dread, or something tells me just not to do that. That something is your angels and guides indicating to continue on a certain path or with a certain course of behavior with a certain person. It's not good. And it's going to feel strongly like red light, stop. So ask yourself, do I have a feeling around my intuition that's positive, appreciative? Can I accept that my guides are first and foremost going to turn up the juice to keep me safe, to get my attention so that I don't wander into some scenario that's not good for me? And if I've been associating the warning with the messenger and saying, I don't want to hear it, that's foolish. If someone's saying, look, nuclear waste up here, would you say, well, I don't want to hear that, you're bumming me out, while you walk right into it? So rethink and reframe that that's a good thing. My angels and guides are on the job, and they are really getting my attention, especially around the things I need to pay attention to. And here's the deal. When you get a message from an angel or a guide through your intuition, which is an energy that is affecting your body with a sense of, like in the case of a warning, which is the first level of guidance, do I associate that with something negative, or do I associate that with protection? Because I like you to reframe it and even put in the comments, when did you get a warning vibration? And how did it protect you? Now, here's the interesting thing. Maybe you'll never know. Maybe you received the message, changed the direction, and dodged the bullet, if you will, avoided the crisis, missed out on what would have been most unfortunate. So you really want to start embracing all your feelings, inner guidance feelings, as positive. And the most important thing is not so much what the feeling is, but what are you doing with it? Are you listening, or are you arguing? Because when you argue with your inner guidance, that's like arguing with energetic reality. Your guides are energetically communicating in your body through a gut feeling, through a knot in your stomach, through a lump in your throat, through the hairs on the back of your head. That's energy that you're receiving. It's talking to you. Now, here's the second level of intuitive guidance, which is what I call the positive. The go for it, give it a go, try this. This is a good thing. Open up to that, because those frequencies are also your guides saying, look, we're pointing the way. You've been praying and praying, and we're showing you the way, but it wasn't necessarily, or if it isn't necessarily what you're expecting, you may be just as suspicious about that as you are a negative warning. So think this through. If you are being given what I call green light guidance, are you receptive? When you get a strong feeling about doing something creative or adventurous, are you receptive? For example, I have a client. Actually, she's not even a client. She's a client of one of my daughters, but we had lunch and I joined them. She's a designer. And as we were talking, I was just overwhelmed. She was talking about needing new clients and going in different directions. And I said, well, if you'd like my input, your guides are giving me a suggestion to start a furniture line. And she said, oh my God, I have been thinking about this and feeling this for years. And I said, that's interesting. Have you done anything about it? She said, I've looked into it somewhat. I actually think I could create something that would be very affordable and interesting and a step above IKEA level. But no, I haven't done anything about it. And this is how you know it's your angels and guides. These are her creativity guides and her money guides. Because she says, I have the whole vision. I see it, I sense it, I even checked out where I'd manufacture it. And I said, why have you hesitated if it's so clear to you? And she said, I don't know. It's just different. And this is where you guides are going, oh my God, you've been praying for guidance. You're asking for the $1 million idea. You're asking for how to use your creativity. You're asking to get out of the rut. We're nearly screaming this at you daily for years, and you still are very passive because it's different. So ask yourself, have you been receiving inspirational ideas, good ideas? That's guidance. That's your angels and guides. That's your creativity guides that are answering your prayers, answering your requests with these suggestions. But you have to execute them. You have to accept the suggestions. You have to implement them. So I said to her, well, it's an opportunity. It's a green light if you go for it. I would certainly not keep dropping the ball. I mean, she said, well, what if it failed? And I said, and what if it didn't? I mean, it's not rocket science. This is something you know. You're a designer. You know what people want. You know what they need. You know what isn't there, what you wish for. So, like Einstein said, genius is often a keen sense of the obvious. So this is angels talking to you. These are your guides, your helper guides talking to you. But how message receivable are you? So that's how they talk to you with these downloads, these inspirations that don't go away, that keep coming back over and over again. That's a very big clue. So write in the comments, what positive suggestions am I receiving? What inspirations, what ideas are popping in my head that I am receiving? I remember over the last 2 years, I have been receiving very clearly to start a certification training to really teach people how not only to receive energy, like not just to recognize it, but how to put it to use. A certification to help coaches, help healers and teachers use all this incredible support and information instead of just stare at it and do nothing. And that I just knew was the time. Now, a lot of people said to me, isn't that risky? But my feeling is not at all. If I get the guidance and it sits with me, then I agree with it. Now, the difference between, okay, what if it's wishful thinking versus guidance? Well, I shared with you, if it sits with you, and if it gets more exciting if you give it attention, if it's a warning, you feel relief when you acknowledge it. I had one moment in time where when I was early married, where my husband and I were looking for a house, and we found a house, and I got the guidance, this is the house. So this is like, well, what if it's wrong? This is a message for what if it's wrong. So we put a bid in on the house. I really talked us into it. And then all of a sudden I got the guidance to let it go. Everybody was up in arms. You said it was the thing to do. And it's like, well, it was then. Things have changed. So I had to really take a lot of flack from my husband, who's no longer my husband, and that very much played into it long term, because he didn't get me. I was saying, look, the energy shifted. Guidance isn't absolute. It's reading energy in motion. My angels and guides were saying, this is it for now. And while we backed out of that house, and then 2 weeks after we backed out, that house flooded due to bad weather. We avoided a huge problem, but not only that, and this is where it gets really interesting. Right after we backed out of that, I found another house, and it was perfect, just perfect, better than the first one. But it had not been on the market 3 weeks ago, 4 months ago, or whatever, the time lapse. So that was a space holder until the right thing showed up. And that's another thing. People think all or nothing, black or white, but energy's constantly moving. So have you had a vibe and you thought, oh, I had this vibe, and then it changed? Yeah, life changes. People change, circumstances change. Maybe you need the experience for a moment or a while, and then you need something else. So it's not like I need to get it right and that's done. Your guides and angels work with you like you're surfing and coaching the surf. Shift here, go there. Here comes the big wave. Lay low, paddle. So that's how we have to understand the guidance comes through your intuition channels, your gut, your heart, your throat, like it's in the back of your mind. And notice and identify, where do you feel it? Write it in the comments, because when you name it, you claim it. Once you acknowledge where you're receiving guidance, when you feel that in that part of your body, receiving the energy, tuning into something that your intellect hasn't caught up with yet, or isn't physically obvious yet, but is in the energy field, that once you start noticing, it's going to be really impossible to ignore. So a couple of things. What warning or advice or caution or alert are you receiving? Don't do that. Time to go. Not this job. Don't argue. Quit. Are you receiving? Where in your body, and are you listening at all? Are you listening too? Are you being given encouragement by your angels and guides? Good ideas that propose change, but you're resistant. Your intuition keeps coming back with the same idea, but it's like you just dead ball it. You just won't take it up and run with it. Then you say, oh, the universe doesn't help me. I don't believe it. But here's the thing. A lot of people think your angels and guides are going to do things for you. They don't do things for you. They give you the directions and the impulses and the suggestions to do things for yourself. And for those who do take up those suggestions and follow through, they start living quite a charmed life. So my last question in the comments is, have you ever been given guidance? You did follow through, and it did have an extraordinary positive income, or an outcome rather, and maybe probably positive income. Have you listened, followed it, and your logic brain got out, and overcame your logic brain, which says, I don't understand it now. And you can say, it's not obvious now in my immediate environment, but it's in the field. I'm picking up something half a mile ahead that my energy's tuning into, but my physical senses and my logic brain haven't yet caught up. So this is about creating an environment to understand how you're hardwired to be guided. But you got to be guidable. And all these comments will really help. Now, if you want support, I highly recommend you read my book, Ask Your Guides. If you want practice and community where you can get really good at this, I highly recommend that you join my online community, the Good Vibes Tribe, because we are helping you every single day become really skilled in developing your intuition and working with your guides so you can live quite the charmed life. And if you really want to change your life, then get on my waiting list for the next certification training that I will be doing, because I am teaching people how to live in the new world. The one that the fire horse is bringing in, the planetary alignment is ushering in, the eclipse is inviting us to move into. People who work and live energetically in flow with your guidance, you're going to be the leaders. So if you want to be one of those, in the comments below, you'll find a link to sign up for the certification next time I open it up. So here's some tips and tools. Start living as a guidable, fully informed and available soul, and your life will become beautiful very quickly. Again, if you're new to my channel and this was useful, please give me a thumbs up. More importantly, subscribe. And if you know anybody who could benefit from this, share it with them, because we need buddies. And I hope I see you on the Good Vibes Tribe. All my love, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Bye now.